I did take the engine cover off. As you can see, it's not there right now. I'm going to plan to put it back. But what I did do is I installed, you guessed it, an engine oil catch can. Most people be like, why do you need a catch can? What is that for? Some people know what it's for, some people don't. I did research on it. Catch can is very important. You have engine oil coming from one area. The engine oil evaporation from the heat will be recycled into the engine and burned when your car is running through the spark plugs. This is really a contaminant. Why would you want engine oil or oil in general burning with your gas? And they wonder why emissions aren't so great. Yeah, this is why. You're burning engine oil every time your car runs. And I don't understand why manufacturers don't put an oil catch can on every car that they make so that they can help out the environment. You want to complain about gas engines are so bad? Here's your reason why. You have engine oil going into your engine and you're burning it every time you turn on your car. These guys know it. They should have fixed it. Anyway, I'm going to change the spot for this one over here to the fender. I'm going to get a fender one. And what's the importance of this? The main thing is you're really burning whatever fuel you put in. So if you put in 89, you're really doing 89. If you put in 93, you're really doing 93. Not a slight derivative because you have oil mixing in with your gas. So if you're tuning your car to 89 or 93, now you're getting the full performance of the 89 or 93. But what I'm going to be doing right now, or for this video, I'm going to replace the stock throttle body with the new BBK Performance Products throttle body, 85 millimeter. Now they say it only takes 15 minutes. Maybe less if you know what you're doing. I've been racing cars and building engines for a while. I've been on the shelf. I had some kids working. Now I finally have an opportunity. I have a new toy. It's getting cold out here. I live on the East Coast and winter's coming, so I won't be able to do much. I'll probably be able to do a couple of videos between work and getting a good day to work on the car. But for right now, this video will be for the throttle body. Okay, I gotta get my tools. I'll be right back. Okay guys, I'm back. It's gonna be part 2 of this video. So got my tools. So the first things first, guys, we have to disconnect the battery from the car. Why do we want to do that? You watch these videos over and over again. You see the guy go in the back and disconnect his battery. I'll tell you why, since most people don't. I haven't seen any one person that said why to disconnect the battery, even though somebody may have. The main reason is you're putting the computer to sleep. You're helping your car to relearn. You're erasing the original code or program for your old throttle body. So the reason why you want to disconnect it is so when you put the new one on and it relearns everything that's in the car, it relearns your new throttle body. Okay, give me a second. I gotta take this battery cable off, take off the positive cable or the negative. Most people take off the positive. That's what I'm gonna do, and I'll be right back. Okay, so you always want to take care when you're removing any cables from the car. because you don't want to shock yourself. Okay, so don't let, if you're touching the positive cable, you don't want the positive cable touching any other metal, because you will get shocked. All right, so if you drop your wrench against the hard body of the car, you could potentially get a shock if it's touching the battery terminal. Also be mindful that when you're unscrewing it from the post, that you don't break your post, because that's something else you can do. Okay, so there we go. We removed the positive cable. Now we're going to go back up front and remove the other lines. Okay, so let's see. They say this takes 15 minutes. So we're gonna, this tab right here, we're just gonna move this back. We're gonna unlock it. And pull the harness off. Okay, let me just, I need my other hand, so I'll be back. Okay guys, so, or everybody, I did move the clip back, but it's not coming off. If you're like me and you're working on an older car, this one I think was left outside. Look at all the rust. A lot of the bolts are rusted, which could mean that it wasn't garaged and it was left out in the rain a lot, or where it came from was an area where they use a lot of salt, road salt, and this person was always driving. So I have my work cut out for me when it comes to the repairs. I mean, look, even the cold intake is rusted or rusting. So my fans have rust on them. A lot of these pulleys. So all this stuff I'm going to be replacing at some point. So let's get this off. Be careful when you're working on these cars. Just be really gentle, work it off. As you see, it's coming. Okay, I got it. You don't want to break your plastics and then you can't put it back on. So that one is, see, look at this. Look at all that. See that? This all has to be replaced. I might wind up rewiring the whole car. Okay. That one's done. Now the next thing is to replace the bolts. This is a 10 millimeter going to the air intake. Do yourself a favor too, guys. Use yourself some spray. PB Blaster. This one, a white lithium grease, and the other one is very good, like WD-40 or WD-40. I like using this one. It does put a little layer of grease on it. It leaves behind some grease for later to help with the corrosion. I left the ratchet in the back. I know this is the boring stuff. I might edit this video so it's not boring. We'll see. See, now this is coming off nice and easy. I already could use my hands, but loosen up just enough so you can get it off. Even though I really didn't have to loosen up that side, but I did anyway. So I won't have to disconnect the whole tube. I can turn this one out the way. That should be good. Next, I want to do the same thing with this clip here. Actually, no. I may not need to remove that one. Let's see. I need my other hand. I'll be right back. Okay, so I was able to get the tube off. I didn't have to take this line off. I am able to get it out the way enough. And if I have to, I'll just take the whole rubber part off, the boot off. If I need more room, doesn't look like it right now. So next thing is, just take the 4 bolts out. 1, 2, 3 right here, one's right here, and one's at the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to do that and I'll be right back. Okay guys, this is a continuation to the other video. So I know you may or may not want to watch me take the bolts off, but you do want to see it come out. So as you can see, the ends are rusted. I did spray it, which I would suggest, if you're taking it off and it looks funky, just put a little spray on it. This one too, look, see how rusted that is? I'm gonna take all of these out. Okay, that's it. Wow, look at that. Look at all that carbon. All that garbage. Looks like this engine wasn't running very clean. That's a big problem. I'm hoping I'm not going to have any issues. I just got this car. If you used to own this car and you put this bumper on, email me. I know you did the catback exhaust and the air intake tube, cold air intake tube, but I'd like to talk to you if you did anything else that I don't know about. Okay, so I should have bought a new ring. I didn't, but luckily for me right now, it did stay in spot. I will change that. I'm going to change it. I'm going to put a brand new on there at some point. As you can see though, the air does come in from this tube right here, and that's where we're getting a lot of the carbon from. And you can see, you can't really see it. My light is not working, but if you can see in there, you can see with a tube for the engine oil, the second one, that's another reason why you would get a lot of carbon. It's all caked on in here. I'm going to wind up changing this changing the intake anyway. I'm thinking about putting a 392. If you guys want to leave me a note in the comments and let me know which is the best air intake. I know people are saying that the 392 from the 6.1 or the 6.4 can fit on this engine. So just let me know. I'm open to all suggestions. I do know that I would have to do something in the back for the actuator to work in the back here, and that there's another piece that goes with it, another smaller brain that goes with it. So enough talk. I'm going to finish. This is going really very quickly though, I have to say that. One thing I am going to do, I'll show you guys. I know you probably saw this already, which is another reason why I bought it. When somebody showed me the difference between the 85 and the stock 79 or 80, even though it may not sound like a big deal, but I don't know if you can see that, but the stock one is way smaller than this one. So, and then I'm doing myself a favor by changing it, because look at all the trash. I can't say it enough. That is engine robbing performance right there. Want to know why your car doesn't perform right? It's because you didn't maintain your throttle body is one of the reasons. And look, it's always open. This thing cannot function properly being dirty like that. Okay, anyway, I'm going to install this. The little tab part goes right there. I'm going to grab a screw. I need my second hand, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I do have most of the bolts in place. I didn't tighten it up yet. But do yourself a favor, guys. Spray, or girls, guys and gals, spray a little bit of whatever you're going to use, WD-40, whatever it is, on your bolts. Even if you have something that's newer that doesn't look like this. Why? Because it makes it easier, and also it lessens the risk of you stripping a bolt. And start your stuff off by hand. Make sure that it's going in. Where are we at now? Make sure it's going in. See, that one's right there. It took the grease off. So I'm going to tighten these up, guys, and I'll be back. Okay, I did get it on. I'm finishing up now. So my next suggestion, find out how many foot-pounds are for everything. I didn't do it on this because I'm just remembering it now. So you can make sure it's just tight. This was probably 8 or 10 pounds. And put your stuff on in a star pattern or X pattern. Why? Because you put the evenly distribute the pressure when you're tying it on, when you're putting it down. So now I'm just going to put everything back on in reverse order. I'll put this on first, since I took it off last. Hopefully it's going to fit because the mouth is bigger. I may have to open this up some more. I'll be back. Okay, so I did get it on. As you can see, I'm about to finish up. I did have to, my hose is about the same size as the bigger BBK. So I had to really finagle it on. I'm going to wind up changing the cold air on it anyway. So, but I did. I got it on. Finishing up. I'll put the cable on it, put the battery, reconnect the battery. I don't have to go too crazy, just make it a little tight to secure it in spot. It's already snug. Same thing here. Just make this one a little snug. Hold it in place. I have to push this back on, flip it back in, put this one back on. Secure it, lock it, and that's it. I'm done. If it wasn't for me talking and holding the camera in the other hand, I really could have got this done in a matter of minutes. That's no lie. So the ease of putting it in, I give it, from a scale of 1 being the easiest and 5 being the hardest, I got to give it a 1. So if you never did this before and you're watching this video because you want to work on your car, this is, for this particular car, one of the easiest things you could do. And you're going to gain 10 horsepower. So I'm going to go from 350 to 360 now with just this one modification, and the car will want to respond better. So now we're going to put the battery cable back on. or I'm going to put the battery cable back on. I think I heard something up front. Okay. I'm going to wind up changing this battery too, because I think it's a dealer battery, and I'm not knocking dealer batteries, but my preference are diehards, and because of their quality over the years, I've had a number of cars. All of my vehicles have had diehard batteries, so why should this one be any different? I did notice that it does have a little bit of problems. Well, not really problems, but it's a little weak. When I start the car at night and the headlights are on, I can really see the headlights blink a lot. So that's a sign for me that the cold cranking when you first turn your car on, this battery doesn't really have as much power as I would like, even though it starts easy. Okay, that's done. Now we're going to go up front. And there's one more step to this, guys. Okay, let's make sure everything's connected. Yep, everything's connected. Now we have to have the computer relearn the new part on the car. It's the one thing I don't see the people explain. Okay, so right now I am going to program the BBK throttle body that was just installed. I did reconnect the battery back to the, I took off the positive, and the one thing that you have to do before you turn your car on is you have to press the gas pedal 3 times slowly and then turn the car on. This is part of the relearn of your new install. So I'm pressing the slow 1 all the way to the floor. Release it slow. So that's 1. So what's going on right now is the computer's learning the distance of your new throttle body. I'm going over. That's 2. This is number 3. Gotta hold it for 10 seconds. I didn't hear anything from the, I'm supposed to hear something from the computer, and I didn't. Okay, let's give it a try. If not, I'll have to make a phone call to troubleshoot. Okay. Did get, that could be because of the gas that got squeezed in, but let's see. There we go. So the reason why I turned the car off is because the engine is cold, and as you can see, it's cold. It's 52 degrees, which is not ice cold, but you don't want to start your car with a cold engine and have it just over revving like that. You want to protect your internals, your bearings. That's how you spin a bearing, and then you throw a rod and you need a new engine. So I try to be very careful in what I'm doing. So my light is blinking only because I have to change a tire sensor. When I got the car, the metal tire valve was broken, and I didn't know that I needed a the sensor that ties to the valve. Sorry, I didn't think about that before I said it. So anyway, the car is doing a cold idle like it's supposed to. It sounds exactly the same. So far, I'm going to sit here and let the engine warm up, and we're going to see if the idle goes down like it's supposed to. It doesn't take long because these cars, I didn't change the thermostat yet. I still have the 210 thermostat in this, and I'm going to change that at some point. But like I said, it's starting to get cold. Winter's coming. I'm probably going to save some stuff for spring, and do more videos and figure out what else I'm going to do. But I'm going to be patient and let it idle. And it sounds like it wants to, just like the old one. Okay, so while this is warming up, why did I do this? Why did I put the 85 millimeter? Why didn't I get the 90, the bigger one? Main reason being why I didn't get the 90 is because I'm not really modifying my car like that. I did my research. I called the manufacturer and I asked them, what's the difference between the 85 and the 90? And he said, well, the 90, if you're really modifying your car, like if you're doing a supercharger or a twin turbo, that's when you would use a 90. I'm not doing that right now. My car is stock. I do plan to change the intake and do a cam at some point. But if I do go supercharger, then maybe I'll sell my 85 or keep it and get a 90 because that one pulls more air. Then the next thing is, why not just put the 90 on it so it could help your car get more air? Because more air, more fuel, faster you go, right? Yeah, but then there's a point when the 90 would lose its full potential because everything else is not high performance like it should be. So it makes sense to do an upgrade to the 85, which is already bigger than the stock unit. It's already designed to flow more air. You're going to get a better throttle response because now you put something, not only did you put a performance part on, but it's gonna run cleaner because you saw my old one. It was really nasty inside. Whoever had this car before, they did no throttle maintenance on this at all. Not one. That thing was so cruddy on the inside. If it's not in this video and I had to do parts because I'm doing this on my phone and I got a call and some things happen, so some of these videos may be in parts. I'm not really sure yet. This is my first time doing YouTube, so bear with me, guys. I'll get better at it as we go along, because I plan to everything that I do with this vehicle. The next thing I'm gonna do is the coilovers. I have coilovers for the front and rear. Unfortunately, I didn't think about it, but I do have drilled and slotted brakes that I bought from Detroit, and I did buy the rest of the front suspension, the arms and inner and outer tie rods that I'm gonna have the shop do, because they have to do a wheel alignment with that. Anytime you change tie rods, you have to do a wheel alignment. Anytime really you're supposed to be doing the suspension in general, you should get your car aligned, especially if you're lowering it or raising it, because you change the camber and other geometrics of the tires. And so it's always a good idea to get a wheel alignment after you do any kind of real suspension work. If you're just changing shocks, struts, then okay, like that's like a normal thing. It doesn't throw it off so much. But if you did do work and your car's pulling to the right or to the left, or it may not be pulling while your hands are on the wheel, but you're on a highway and you feel like the car is drifting a little bit and you have to always correct it with a little steer, then you should go get a wheel alignment. Your car should always be bone straight, even with your hands off the wheel. And also you should be able to hit the brake, not really like slam on the brake, but press on the brake, and your car should still go bone straight. If it doesn't, you may have a problem with one of your calipers and it's making a car pull, or you have something wrong in your suspension that's loose that may need to be changed, and that's a good sign that you need to take your car to the shop so that they can look at it for you and tell you what's wrong, so you can fix your ride. Be safe out there, guys. Okay, so all right, I followed the instructions to the letter of installing this BBK 85mm throttle body, and my car is now idling the same way like it did with the old part. Oh, I didn't hear that before. So she sounds like she wants to spit already. That's nice. The one thing I do like about Dodge is why I bought one. I'm a GM guy. I have a 76 Monte Carlo that when she was running, she had well over 500 horse, almost 600 horse. I used to race all the Mustangs and everybody back in the days. We were in Brooklyn, New York. You guys, if you're from New York and you're an older dude and you know about Brooklyn, Fountain Avenue, and in Queens and Greenpoint, Brooklyn, we were out there running. So I'm gonna get back into it. I'm older now. I got grandkids. I don't think I'll be doing all of that, but I do like my car to go fast and sound nice, and I'm gonna be more so at doing show car stuff. So like I said before, I'm about to end this video. Guys, the BBK 85mm or the 90, because they're both the same. It's just the cylinder, the bore of it, the center of it is bigger on the 90 than the 85. It's 0.5 millimeters bigger than 85, but it's a very easy install. If you follow the directions, you'll have no problems. I wanted to say one more thing before I go, guys. If you're the guy with the red Magnum and you installed a 90, the reason why your 90 did not work is because you didn't follow the instructions. You didn't take the battery off, and more importantly, even if you don't have to really take the battery off, because some things that you do, you don't have to disconnect the battery cable. It's just something that they tell you to do, you know, because it's more of a safety conscious thing. But when you're working with electronics and computers, that's something you must do. You must let the car forget the old part so it could learn the new part. That's the important part. So your 90 didn't work because you didn't disconnect the battery and you didn't sync your 90mm by pressing on the gas. You just turned the key and it didn't know that it was there. But when you put the old one on, it still did work because the car was programmed for that. And when you put it back on, it remembered, oh yeah, this is what I work with. So I know you probably got it fixed by now, but my engine temperature is up. My car is idling where it was before. It sounds nice and smooth. Let's go in the back. I love the way Dodges sound. They just are so aggressive. Let's go in the back real quick before I end this video. I do have exhaust on this already. I have a catback, Magnum Flow catback exhaust system that was done prior to me getting it. I'm going to do long tube headers next, coilovers are next, and like I said, the full suspension. And I'm going to make a video for everyone. Thank you, BBK, for coming out with a nice product, a very easy install. Everything sounds nice and smooth. I got to go to the store at some point. I'll do a test drive, and I do have a Diablo tuner, so I'm going to do a before the tune and after the tune, so I can see the difference. Because right now, if I tune it, I know it's going to feel like really different, but we're going to really see what's going on. All right, guys, be safe out there, and don't crush them, restore them.